African?
Black.
So you're Black American?
Actually, African. So I came to America, I don't know if that is considered Black American, but Black.
You know why? Because it doesn't matter. We are all the same type of people, have the same color of skin. So there's no different, like say, oh, Black, African American. We all came from the same place. According to history, slaves are taken from Africa. All the same thing. We're all Black people.
Like forms and stuff, I have to pick African American, but I mostly identify with African just because of the culture and stuff. And my parents are from Ghana, so.
I think it depends. If I'm filling out a form that allows me to classify myself as African, I do so. But if not, I have no qualms with classifying myself as African American. I think it depends on the individual. It's hard to really make broad generalizations, or I've had different experiences with different individuals. I think some people limit their knowledge about Africans to the Discovery channels or documentary on television. So I remember when I first moved to America, people would ask me questions like, oh, did you grow up on a tree, or did you live in huts? But I grew up in the city and I had access to all the resources that Americans had access to. I was very educated. I actually didn't have to learn English. I just grew up and was raised speaking it. So I think it depends on the individual, and some people are very ignorant with little knowledge, and other people are very well educated.
Yeah, they are not actually successful. They are ignorant. For example, like when they are sick, they take time to go to the doctor, and which is not good because it really affects the Black Americans. And health comes first before anything. But the Black Americans don't actually, they are actually ignorant. That's what I can call it. And they are not actually really hardworking, but some of them are trying their best.
They're really successful. Like, looking at where they are now, in the condition of where they are, the population they are, they're considered minors, but then most of them are still like President Obama, for example. I'm not trying to say that, oh, President Obama is not the president, I shouldn't do anything, but he's like a success story, and it gives me like this kind of motivation to be better. If a Black man can be a president, and then I could do whatever I want to do as long as I set my mind towards it.
I just think they don't accept Africans into they think they're Black and we're Africans. So when you ask me if I'm African or Black, I tell you I'm African because if I tell you I'm Black, a Black American is gonna look at me and think I'm crazy. So I think I see them as Black Americans and Africans are different. The culture is different, and so you can't bring the two of us together.
To be honest, I guess I kind of view them as ghetto. I guess that's kind of unfair. But I mean, not all of them are like that. It's just I don't know, African culture, you're brought up with respect and stuff, and then when you come here, it's you see the difference, and it's oh, these people don't respect their parents and stuff. So I don't know, maybe I know they're not all like that, but I was born here, so I guess I kind of.
I don't know what they generally think about Africans because I have not really, I have not talked to most of the African American friends I have. I have not really talked to them on that matter and stuff, so I can't really tell for them.
Where we've African Americans have come from, what they've had to persevere through to get equality in America and to be recognized as a people rather than treated as inferior. So when I think of Black Americans as a whole, I think of a people that have really have to strive to get to where they are in life.
I don't really know what they think, but I know I don't really know what to think about it. So
people think Africans are slaves, Well, that's how I feel though. I feel like they think we're slaves and everything. We just came here to just take over the whole thing and try to make some money and then go back home. And basically, we came here because there's opportunity here, right? We're trying to make our lives better. And they don't see that. They see us as like a threat or, you know, just, yeah, like we're posing a threat to them. So they don't like us at all. And I do not, most of them, I don't really like them. But then when I get close to them, I found out some of them are not as bad as they really seem.
Oh, that I'm white?
That you're white?
Yeah. Like some of my friends, they're not even like black or whatever, but like they're like one of my Indian friends thinks that I'm like I knew nothing about like African American culture pretty much. So he's like, oh, you're not black, you're white. So.
A little, not so much. I receive a little from them. I mean, I don't take it personal, but I don't know why, the exact reason, but I'll be like, hey, what's up? And then like most of them will just look at me like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. So I kind of like trying to like not be like, oh, they don't like me or they're being racist towards me because I'm from Africa, Nigeria. But I just try to say, oh, maybe they have certain factors that affect it. They may not be having a good day, they might be stressed. So I'm just trying to overlook the other part of it. Yeah.
It once by women, like a bunch of women, like a gang of women fall. So, you know, I was going out. I just came to the country and I didn't know any place. I was going out to buy something at the store and they just like surround me and I was kind of surprised, but you know, they collected my purse, took some of my money, and they were like, we're just taking this one for cigarettes. So I was like, okay, maybe that's the way they act in America. So
I mean, I don't think so. Not really.
They don't like, you know, judge you or make fun of the African culture?
No.
Actually interesting because the hostility that I have received is from African American men being upset when they see me with a male from another racial background. I had one incident where I was in the Baltimore Harbor and I was walking with a Caucasian friend, and you know, a guy walked up to me and was like, "What are you doing with him?" You know, so any kind of hostility that I have faced has been to be represented as an African American rather than an African.
A whole lot of them are really mean and everything.
So examples, like what do they do to you?
Just different stuff. Like back home, when you open the door for someone, you say thank you or stuff like that. I'm coming in and you just bang the door in my face. Or you're like, we're on the bus this day and someone was trying to pass, just get off the bus, and the black American wouldn't let her go. She's like, you have to squeeze yourself through that space. And I'm looking, why would you do that? That's just very mean. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff they do that. I mean, they talk about you right in your presence. It doesn't make any atom of sense. They just act mean.
I think in certain situations some do, and I think it just comes from just fear of the unknown and just not being educated about the African culture.
No, not all. No, I can't say that. I can't generalize like that. So, everyone has good and bad qualities, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
yes, they do. Especially high school students. Like when you're in the bus, I've seen a lot, you know. So when you're in the bus, they kind of have a negative attitude, like they talk about people, talk about someone, especially the old people. They make fun of them, laugh at them, and if you say something, they might kind of like shut the fuck up, whatever, something like that, which is not good.
Most of them.
Most of them?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I don't necessarily classify it as hostility. I think there's such a thing as pride and people really wanting to rep where they come from. So I mean, I joke with my friends that are from Nigeria or Sierra Leone or any other country that, you know, like Ghanaians make the better jollof rice or our music is better, but I don't think it's really to the extent where it's prejudice and it leads to discrimination.
Yeah, Yeah, some Africans are mean. I mean, when you get to know them, they're nice to their friends and everything, but sometimes they can be mean to you because Nigerians a lot in this country. So, like, I think particularly Nigerians, I think some Africans do not really like Nigerians because we feel like we're on top of the world because we're like the giants of Africa and everything. So sometimes we receive hostility from them, but most of them are really nice and friendly.
They can be judgmental and stuff if you don't like follow their standards. Like if you wear like overly like huge earrings or like dress provocatively, they'll talk. But other than that, I don't do that stuff, so I haven't faced any hostility yet. I hope not to.
Not necessarily. I've not really received any kind. We need to get to know each other. We can't just base our information and knowledge off myths. Like say, oh no, African Americans do this. You're hearing it from word of mouth. Why don't you actually sit down with an African American, get like with a group of African Americans, try and know them before you like base your information off like a lot of myths that can be true or cannot be true.
I guess just being aware and understanding both sides of the culture and like breaking down like the stereotypes kind of thing and just being open to hearing about both sides.
You just have to accept the fact that, you know, for me, I think Black Americans came from Africa, but I mean they're now like a different people. We're supposed to embrace their culture and help them live with it, and they're supposed to embrace our culture and live with it too. They shouldn't think of Africans as poor people, skinny people suffering, you know. They should just accept us for who we are and we will accept them for who we are.
In situations where there's hostility, I think we can fix those situations by educating both sides. I think Africans need to or for those that it applies to, they need to stop thinking that, you know, they are the true people or that they are better. I think they need to be willing to look at the African American culture and the African American history and, you know, look to see what they can learn. And I think African Americans as well have to take an interest in the African culture because once upon a time they were brought to this country as slaves. So I think people have the obligation to really learn about their ancestry and to really ask the questions about where do I come from and who am I? I think of the quote that says, you know, you will not have a future if you don't know where you come from.
I think everybody needs love. You know, if they can change their ways, love one another, you know, I think everything will be good. And the most problem we have with blacks is jealousy, envy, you know. We don't love each other, and that needs to be changed.
I mean, we can always try. I don't know if it'll be like, it's not going to be perfect, but we can at least attempt and see what happens.
It can be fixed. It can.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Almost impossible. Yeah, almost impossible. Well, it's possible though, but those chances are really slim.
Yeah, I think it's very, very possible that it will be fixed. I think with education and with people willing to learn and also having the interest to travel, I think technology has made it very, very easy to be educated and to be understanding.